Will there be?
Whoa.
Got it. All right, guys. So we're going to start off here, Sunday Market Blitz. We're going to jump into the pairs, cover some crypto at the end. Pretty much, I'm going to take you through the 6 pairs that I cover, and I'm going to apply a pretty methodical strategy. We're just going to go to the daily time frame, grab, hold on, I can't see that. There we go. Go to the daily time frame, grab the trend, drop to the 4-hour, and then cover both a bullish and a bearish scenario. Scenarios that are most likely to happen for a trade that we'd want to get into. So this would need to happen for us to then enter the trade. Okay, so let's go ahead to the daily time frame here on DXY. So this is just the US dollar. We don't actually trade this. We're using it more or less as an indicator because a lot of the market moves as the dollar moves. It makes up for 80% of all trades. So if something's happening on the dollar, it's good to be aware of it because you don't want to get caught off guard on another pair, or you want to make sure that you're kind of in trend. Okay, so very bullish here. We saw a nice transition of 93.8 resistance, popped above, established some structure, and then pushed higher. So that's really all we need from the daily. Let's go to the 4-hour now and see if this 4-hour trend is either continuing or reversing with the overall daily bullish trend in mind. Okay, it looks like this is also in trend, very bullish. We had a huge rally here, breaking through a bit of a range that we saw resistance at 94.5, support at 93.8. So it's a bit of a range here. We started pushing a little bit higher, nice higher lows that we saw, and these kind of pretty big bullish volume attempts here. So we pushed up once and then we finally broke. And now this is a clear break. This is what you want to see. Really cleared this level, pushed well above. And now at this point, we're waiting for it to kind of come back, form structure, give us our higher low, and then continue higher for us to confirm this as a continuation, right? And that it's going to push higher. Next target would be 95.6 area, potentially higher. But yeah, pretty much this is what we want to see. This break confirmed, nice trend continuation to the upside. Okay, so if let's say price action does come back, it pulls back through 94.5, gives us a lower high, and is trapped back within the range. This bullish scenario is then invalid. Okay, it could pull back and then just continue to range or consolidate. You know, we'll have to reanalyze if this happens, but it's pretty likely, or it's pretty good to assume that it's going to fall and touch the bottom of the range. So that's what this orange trade path represents. All right, so overall pretty bullish, looking pretty good though. Just if it does start to drop, guys, it's got a little bit of room to fall. So just be aware of that on dollar pairs. Okay, we could see a short-term bearish dollar, but then overall bullish maybe towards the end of the week, maybe into next week. Just keep that in mind. All right, so we are on to AU now. First tradable pair. First thing we're going to do, daily time frame, see what the trend has been like here on the daily, right? Very bearish overall. Just look at the big picture. We've been moving lower. Yeah, we came back up and tested this level. Nice fake out there. We did break above, and this would have been a nice transition, but it did not confirm a higher low. Instead, it pulled back through broken resistance, or yeah, broken resistance. Okay, it didn't test it as support. It failed to test as support and fell back below. So it's overall bearish. Let's go to the 4-hour now and cover those 2 scenarios. So is the 4-hour trend in line with the daily? Yes, it's very bearish, hugely bearish, good bearish volume there, and nice structure points along the way. Okay, now this part is a little bit overextended. We just hit this support level at 0.73. So now it's likely that this could pull back, touch broken structure right here. This should be a nice point to form our next lower high. Okay, there's just a lot of confluence here. That's why this is probably the most ideal. Somewhere in here, pull back, nice rejection, 200 EMA is there as well. So this would be a nice area for a lower high. Tons of confirmations would be on, you know, this reversal here. Nice bearish setups, MA cross, and then we target lower. Okay, if this is still a continuing 4-hour bearish trend, this is going to have a good amount of momentum. Okay, you could see just all the volume that's still present here. So this would be a nice target, good risk reward on this. Really excited to see how this one plays out. Okay, if it does break back above resistance 0.74, we just need to see a higher low to confirm that. And then we could potentially be looking at long opportunities. Okay, but until that happens, this 4-hour trend is just super bearish. Could pull all the way back to here and still be bearish. So just be aware of that. But yeah, looking pretty good. Good volume. If you guys caught this up here, if you shorted this, you know, congrats to you. This has been moving really, really well. All right, let's move over to AJ. Next one, daily time frame. What are we doing? Grabbing the trend, seeing where we're at. All right, so we were consolidating over here. Price action went bearish. Found massive support down here at 79 flat. We ranged for a little while. Finally broke right here, this lower high at 81.5. And then we rallied all the way to 85 resistance, which was, you know, obviously very strong. As we saw, it was the top of the range over here. So after that, it reversed, came back down to the bottom of the range at 83.25. So this is interesting, okay, because we do have a good gauge as to what could happen. And that's obviously just ranging between these 2 points. But if it does continue with the trend, it looks like we're going to have a pretty good or a high volume trade here, something that's going to move quite a bit. So let's go to the 4 hour. This is technically bullish. I mean, just if you were to measure this, this is how it would look. Okay, this was the break here. We're going to pretty much measure from conviction. I'm going to say here, because that's the point of the rally, start of the rally. Okay, so this is pretty much bullish all the way up until this point. This is recent broken structure here on the daily. So this is interesting. Okay, I would say comfortably that it's no, it really won't be more bullish if it breaks the weekly. You know, if it does break the weekly, I'm going to be very skeptical about calling this overall bullish. So I'm just going to pretty much base this trade on this range here. Okay, and that's going to be a good way to kind of keep my trades short term. Not going to get caught in too much volume, really just trying to play the comfortable points, right? Whether it breaks, it's really trying to find structure. So overall, bullish, but let's go to the 4 hour. This is where we're going to get a better look at what's going on here. All right, so this is going to be the more dominant trend for the week. We are bearish here on the 4 hour. Okay, we are, again, hugely bearish volume we're seeing, but we are right at this weekly. So this is going to be how we're going to play this. We know the potential. It could pull back for a range, and we do have a little bit of resistance right here, and we are consolidating. So very clearly looking for a pop above with a higher low. You could take a long opportunity there. I don't recommend trading ranges, but you could, given the volume. You know, there's quite a bit of movement here, 115 pips almost to 85 flat. Okay, but if it does continue lower, okay, you're gonna look for the next lower high and then catch a nice short position down towards 81.5, which is that structure point. So just be careful from there. This is definitely the max target we want to really target, because this is an area where we're going to expect a lot of reaction. Okay, recent broken daily structure. So be aware of that, 81.5. But yeah, this one could play out pretty good. Just got to see where it goes. Wait for this consolidation to end, wait for the volume to kick in, and then those confirmations. So that's AJ. This one is a little tricky, and sometimes it can be when there's that much volume, but that's why you always got to take a step back sometimes. Helps put things into perspective and go from there. All right, so that's AJ. Next is going to be UJ. This one's kind of choppy look. I mean, it's in a range, but let's go to the daily for the first to start off. All right, so what's the trend here on UJ daily? Very bullish. Obviously, we had a huge consolidating pattern right here, just below 111.5 resistance. We broke above, got a nice higher low, and then a strong rally above our monthly at 113. So right now we are consolidating above the monthly, which is good, but it's taking quite a while. I mean, this is a long time. Let's see here. How many days exactly? About 28 days. So almost a month of consolidation after this huge rally, which is, you know, good and bad. Good because, I mean, this is a huge rally, so you definitely want the market to kind of, you know, take a breather, relax, and then show us something like it's going to make its next move, or if it's going to pull back. But I do like that it's really solidifying price action above 113. That's a good sign. Okay, definite possibility for a continuation. So overall bullish on the daily. Let's go to the 4 hour now. All right, where are we on the 4 hour? So stuck in a range, very obvious. Key resistance at 114.15, support at 113.45. So going into this week, it's just very likely that we're going to fall to support and then see some sort of reaction at that point. I mean, there's not much to be said here on UJ. We know what we're supposed to do. how we're supposed to play ranges, either wait for a break above, right, or wait for the break below. Now, unlike over here, this was a nice break, but it didn't confirm a lower high. See, this level was not respected. And that's why there was no entry here. And this is more or less a fake out. Okay, so until we can confirm a true break of the range, either a high or low above, lower high below, we can't really say where it's going to go, other than, it's just going to bounce between these 2 points. All right, so that's UJ. Gonna have to wait a little bit. Unless you like range trading, then let's talk about that for a second. You could probably drop to a lower time frame and apply. You still apply the same strategies. You're just obviously scaling down to a lower time frame and playing shorter term moves. So there's a nice level right here, holding as support. Could be an advanced head and shoulders if this develops a little bit more. Look for a break and retest of this neckline. And then target lower. As long as there's 2 to 1, trade makes sense. And then it's a nice little short opportunity within the range. All right, now there is a little more risk trading ranges, because if you are counter trend trading the higher time frame trend, which is obviously bullish on the daily, 4 hours neutral, if you are trading this, just be aware that that higher time frame volume could kick in and resume the trend. So that's why it's kind of tricky to counter trend trade. I would feel much more comfortable buying off support and just lining that up with, through the time frames. All right, so that's a little tip on how to, scalp ranges if you want. But yeah, that's UJ. So let's move over to EJ. Daily time frame to start. What is the overall trend? All right, so this is gonna be bullish, and I'm gonna explain why. So we were bullish here up to this point, then we reversed here. This was a nice transition. We had a break of a higher low. We got a lower high, lower low, lower high. Strong characteristic of a bearish trend there. Okay, then we flatlined. Price action just kind of moved sideways. This was the lower high that was tested twice and then broken. So that's recent broken structure here on the daily. Price action rallied back to the weekly and now is pulling back to test broken structure. So we're still bullish. Okay, now how price action reacts here is going to either uphold this break and this new bullish trend, or it's going to send us back to overall bearish. Okay, so let's go to the 4 hour now. This looks pretty steep. So let's see if this 4 hour trend is going to either continue or reverse. Okay, so here's broken structure, nice little confluence area around 130. And that's where price action is now. But this is looking like a pretty strong 4 hour trend, right? Pretty strong, increasing volume, huge bearish candles. And it's kind of just trickling lower, lower and lower and lower. So it's either going to reverse at this level. We're going to see a big reaction. Okay, a lot of buyers are going to step in here either, and we're going to send it higher. So look for that. And there would probably be a nice entry right on in here. Let me cover that for you guys. This is what I would need to see happen in order to enter. Yeah, these things take too long. I'm just drawing this. All right, so I need to see a higher low. That would be a nice transition of this 4 hour trend. Okay, so to break up a lower high, higher low above, that's a transition. I'd feel comfortable taking that long opportunity pretty much back to the weekly. Okay, it's going to be an absolute max target, profits along the way. If this 4 hour trend does continue, which is pretty likely right now, I mean, it's showing more bearishness than bullishness. So, why would we consider anything else? We're not predicting here. We're just following price action. So if it breaks lower, I want to see it really clear support at 130 and then just look for a lower high below to enter short on. Okay. Now, if this does happen, there's something that's also happening simultaneously, right? It is invalidating a daily bullish trend. Because again, this is daily structure point that we need to see a higher low at to confirm bullishness on the daily. If we break below, it's no longer bullish. Okay, let's check that out one more time. Okay, break below, very bearish. If we reverse, we're bullish. So that's why this is such a key area. We really need to see how price action plays out. Okay, so that's EJ. Let's finish up with gold here. See what's going on. This one's interesting. It's the first time we're above 1825 since July. So this is a big move right here. So let's see what the overall trend is first. Okay, we were pretty bearish for a while. Pretty bearish, strongly bearish, some ranging happening in here. And we were pretty much bearish as long as we were below 1825. This is where our first lower high was. We tested it once, twice. Okay, stayed below it up until that point. So this has been pretty much bearish since July. Okay, and now we broke through that level very clearly. Now we're bullish. Okay, all we need to see right now is a higher low, and then we're looking to new highs. Okay, so newly bullish trend here on the daily. Let's take a closer look on the 4-hour and see what this rally looks like. All right, pretty extended, right? Good sign. We needed that kind of momentum to kind of break both these levels, totally disrespect this range and just shoot to a new high around 1875. So now we need structure, right? We need some fib levels hit. We need it to pull back, form normal characteristics of a bullish trend, show us that it's going to continue, and then we'll enter on that. So what's that look like? Pretty much a higher low in this confluence area, just above 1825. I just messed that up. Still messed it up again. Where is that? There we go. There we go. All right, so 1825 confluence area, and then we'll see structure formed at that point too. So this would be really nice to catch some bullish variations after rejection of this level, and then we'll target higher, potentially back toward 1900. All right, so that's interesting. If it does pull back and it breaks back below 1825, we're getting put through the ringer once again, right? Back into the range. Then where's it going to go? We're going to have to reanalyze at that point. I'm honestly just hoping it goes bullish because I'm tired of this range. It's super annoying. But yeah, so that's gold, guys. Looking like some pretty big movement. But either way, because of the high volume that we saw last week, it's looking like we're going to have to kind of let things play out for a little while and then scope out some maybe midweek entries. Hopefully not too late though. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you guys. Quick recap, covered DXY, AU, AJ, UJ, EJ, and gold. And you guys can refer to these analyses. They're live charts. If you go to the trading view links that we dropped in Telegram and Discord, they're live charts. So pull them up next to your own analysis, see how these are progressing. The ideas are usually pretty good. You know, if you guys watch the review videos, you know, you'll see that too. So yeah, thanks guys. I'm gonna pass it off to Angelo, see what he's looking at this week.
All right. Let's take a look at what's going on.
Yes, this will be on YouTube.
Let's see. We've got, you see my screen?
Yep.
All right, we're gonna start with UCAD. We're gonna just move up to the weekly. So for you guys that are new to the session, if there is anybody new, obviously welcome to the session. I always start off on the weekly time frame and just put down my 2 weekly key levels. Like Nick said, all the analysis posted inside of the chat, so you guys can go in there and see the ideas kind of broken down in text. But we're just going to go over it again here on the call. So on the weekly time frame, as I was going through this, I noticed these 2 levels. We have this resistance level. This is based on support all along this area. Then we had some resistance all in this area. Then we had some more resistance and some more support. So this is definitely a key area right around 126. And as you could see last week, price came up to this area and rejected it already. So we see that wick. We're definitely bullish right now. I marked down this trend line. So the trend on UCAD was overall very bearish. Then we broke, formed this new high, and now we're forming our first kind of higher low right here. So looking for UCAD to potentially move higher. This all depends how strong the dollar actually is going to continue to be. But on the weekly, that's pretty much all we're looking for. We're looking for our levels. We're looking for momentum, and then we're just looking at price action, right? What did the last few candles show us? And obviously buyers are stepping in, but we are getting to this resistance area. So let's go to the 4-hour, kind of break this down a little bit further. So 4-hour, I don't need to zoom out all the way. We already looked at the weekly time frame, what's pretty much going on. So in the 4-hour, I can just see that we had this break to the upside. So obviously the trend turned to be very bullish. And now what I'm targeting is we have this lower level that I marked on the weekly time frame again, always marking my levels on the weekly time frame. This is just the previous resistance level. This is the previous higher high. So I'm expecting price to come down, and ideally it does retest this area before consolidating a little bit. And then ideally the best setup would be a consolidation around this area. We've seen this so many times. Consolidate around this area at 1246, and then we get a little bit of break on the lower time frame, and we get that first retest, and then we'll retarget the high. Obviously, we're a little bit ways away from that. We're all the way up here. Right now, it's about 80 pips away from the lower level. So if you did want to, you could go down to the 30-minute, and you could actually try to take short opportunities down until it gets into that area. I'm not going to take any buys unless price comes down again to this lower level, or if price comes up and does one of these, so it starts to form this new high and then actually retest the key level. So I'm not trying to continue with the trend until we do retest an actual level. As you can see, I'm looking left. This is significant. This is also significant right here, but it's right around the same zone. So this is more what I'm looking for. I could even bring this on. Look and see where has price consolidated the most. We have some consolidation consecutive days right here. Then look in this area. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days were consolidated in that area. So once price revisits that zone, it's definitely going to have some sort of rejection. Now, what if price comes up and retests this area and then rejects it? Again, we're just trying to sell that. So this is the resistance. This is support. Here we're trying to buy. Here we're trying to sell. We're not trying to buy unless it gets above this level, and then this becomes a potential retest for buying opportunities. So that's pretty much USD CAD in a nutshell. If you guys have any questions, feel free to go ahead, post in the chat if you have any other ideas. But I'm going to shift over to GJ. Last week, we did pretty well with this pair. I kind of just messed around for the whole week, moving lower. But obviously, we were overall very bearish on this. Let's just clean this up a little bit and come to the weekly. So zooming out on the weekly, I'm actually going to just remove that. Weekly time frame, we have this resistance level up here, and this is based on resistance, support, 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 resistance, resistance. And if you guys have been coming on the sessions, I've been going over this every single week, and then we can just look more immediately at where we're currently at. And we can see pretty clearly last week or 2 weeks ago, large bearish move to the downside. Last week, doji. So at this point, we're actually looking for some sort of reversal. We're looking for this thing to push back to the upside. So with that in mind, come down to the 4-hour, I did notice this trend or this pattern, excuse me. So we're getting a falling wedge to form. So price is just squeezing lower. Normally when this happens, we get a little bit of a break to the upside, a retest, and then it ends up shooting back to one of our levels. The level that I have placed is up at 155. We also do have this trend line up here. So I am looking for this thing to retrace. Look how it's at the bottom here, just consolidating. Boom. So I'm looking for it to pull one of these. Again, this is the pattern that I'm reading. Looking for it to pull one of those, and then we'll get it on the retest, and then look to trade this thing back into this trend line, back into this resistance level. So it's just a waiting game right now on GBP, JPY. No immediate setups because it could just continue to shift to the downside. And if it does, I don't really have a setup because as I bring on my fib, this thing has not pulled back like really much at all. It hasn't even pulled back to 38.2. Ideally, it pulls back to 61.8. That's the move that we're ultimately looking for, is this sell back in this area. But obviously, we need something to happen before it actually pops up there. So looking to take advantage of a potential buy. That being said, let's go to GU because it's going to look fairly similar. It normally does. But as you can see, GU has advanced a little bit further than GJ. So let's just take this off for now. Let's take this off. So we're up on the weekly. We've got our levels. So again, always have my 2 levels placed. We have resistance, we have support. That's based on resistance, resistance, support. That's this lower level, and then this upper level, support, 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 resistance. We've been following this literally, I mean, all the way since last year, but we've been following this closely the last couple of weeks with GU. We have these lower highs that we're mapping out and explaining how to get in on every single opportunity with that. Now we just moved to this new low. So look how last week's candle formed. It's like a spinning top candle. We have wicks to both sides. This is really a reversal type candle. So we're starting to show some rejection of this lower level, but I do think it has room to push lower. So coming down to the 4-hour, let's first bring back on some of these things. So coming to the 4-hour, look how bearish this trend is, guys. It's trending to the downside, forming lower highs, forming lower low, forming lower high, forming lower low. So now we are looking for the next potential lower high. Let's just move this over. And it lines up really well right at this 38.2. This is the previous support level, previous low. We zoom out, previous low right there. We have 38.2. That's 2 confirmations right there. So if price comes up to this area and shows rejection, we should definitely be getting in on a trade in here. We could put stops. A reason why I put stops all the way above the 61.8 is because say potentially it doesn't reject here and you get on a trade, then you'll still have the potential for it to reject off of this level up here. So that's why I put stops up there. But you certainly could, if you're a little bit more confident, you could squeeze stops a little bit tighter on this one, as long as it shows rejection. So GU is definitely showing a potential trade much sooner than any other pair right now. So let's just keep that in mind and look at UCAD. So UCAD, we're anticipating this to come down. Remember, it could just push up. We're just not looking for a trade until it comes into my idea where it's a high probability setup, right? You could make sense of saying, oh, it's just going to continue higher from here, but I can't make sense of that. So that's why there's not a trade there for me. This is according to my rules, what I look for. This is actually like a really high probability trade based on how I'm trading. So that's GU. I'm going to move that one up the list. So the last Forex pair I'm actually going to look at is going to be NZD USD. So let's take a look at this one. Let's bump up to the weekly. This one's looking pretty clean too. So let's go ahead and remove some of this stuff just so we can actually see the candles. So coming here, one second. So coming here on the weekly time frame, we hit this high point. This is a key level on the weekly. We have support, we have support, we have some resistance, we have resistance. So we've been playing off of this level for the last couple of weeks because we're right in that zone. And price obviously just pushed to the downside last week, which was as anticipated. If you guys followed the analysis last week, you definitely could have taken advantage of this. And then look how last week closed, wick to the downside. So this thing is starting to show some rejection as sellers. So it looks like we're about to get a little retracement, which is perfectly fine. If we come down to the 4-hour, this thing is clearly bearish. Let's go ahead and bring back on some of this. This thing is clearly bearish on the 4-hour time frame. Let's not get it twisted here. We transitioned, we're following this. We have the first sell opportunity, the second sell opportunity. Now we're going to get our third sell opportunity right here. And then we're going to target this new low. So this is going to be the next trade for NZD USD. I would love for this thing to push up. And think of it in terms of some other pairs we just looked at. If we want NU to push up about 0.6, about 0.5%, remember, we also want UCAD to push down about 0.5%. We want GU to push up anywhere from 0.2 to the 61.8 is about 0.6%. So it's not to say that these are all perfectly correlated, but it does make a lot of sense that we're looking for these pullbacks on multiple pairs here, and they're all against the dollar. These are all major pairs, obviously. So we're looking for these pullbacks, but we are looking for the dollar ultimately to be stronger. So let's we haven't looked at DXY yet. I'm just going to pop over here and look at DXY. This was last week's analysis. We were saying it had to get above this 94 level. We come up to the weekly. We can see this is my key level on the weekly time frame. Support, resistance. We even go back further, and then resistance. And then look how strong last week closed. So the dollar is very bullish. It just does have some room to pull back. Remember, last week we were looking for the break and the retest. So we did get the break right here. So now we're looking for it to retest, most likely this high point. And we had this all like consolidating down at this level. But we are looking for it to retest down here at this high point and then continue to form a new high. So DXY definitely is bullish, but it correlates very well with all these other pairs. And looking at this, I'm actually going to switch up my idea on GU. I'm going to move NU up because that one's definitely a trade that is near entering, but I'm going to switch up my idea on GU. I'm going to move the entry up to the 618 level. We can get our stops a little better, and then our target's going to be back down to this low right here. So I'm going to move this up. I'm going to shift this level up right here. I'm just going to bring this to the right. Oh. So now basically I'm just basing this on this resistance level that's right here. We have 61.8. Looking at all these other pairs, looks like if it does manage to pull back, it's going to probably pull back to the 61.8 over the 38.2. So GU, NU, two setups that are right there. UCAD a little bit further away. GU a little bit further away. Still in the 4-hour time frame with this one. So that's all the Forex I'm going to go over. Let's dive into BTC, especially because it's kind of breaking out right now. I uploaded the analysis earlier today, about 6 hours ago. We go ahead and see BTC analysis. So this was the analysis. We were saying price is going to break above. We had a head and shoulders pattern forming. We come down here. So we're looking for right here. It's forming another head and shoulders pattern. Wait and see whether this thing goes bullish. So we're waiting to see if it broke the neckline, and obviously it just broke the neckline now. So what we need to wait for is just a retest of this resistance area, now turn support, and then this thing will be ready to make new highs. Like, not to say that it will, but this is what the pattern is going to show us. This thing definitely just found some support right around the 63.5 area. We want it to be trading above the 6,500 or 65,000, which it is. If we come back to the weekly, that's where I have this level placed. That's pretty much based off this previous high point. So this thing is definitely very bullish right now, definitely breaking above these highs, and it's trading above the exact zone that we need to trade above. So look out BTC, definitely bullish. So be aware, and the entry setup is going to be right there. So if you guys want to get in on this, this is what it would look like. You put stops here. Target one would be the new high or the previous high. And then obviously this thing could go much higher than that. I target 70 as the next level. It's just psychological level. So this is a trade setup for BTC. Let's go next to XLM. So this pair, I'm not as bullish on this one, even though it did have this break above 40 cents. Let's just go and take a look at this one actually on the charts. And if you guys want to break down any other cryptos, feel free to. I don't know, Nick, if I don't think CRO would really be on here, to be honest.
I have it. I have it up.
Oh, it's on here? Oh, word.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I'll pull it up after this one.
All right, word.
So Stellar, if we go up to the weekly, this has just been a very significant level, this 40 cents level. Obviously, previously it acted as support, so it does tell us that price has gone above this level before. But as we can see right now, we're struggling to get above this area. We are finding support at this level, but until we really break above here, I'm not too bullish on this pair right now. Obviously, crypto in general is bullish, so I probably should be bullish on this, but I'm just waiting for it to get above here. Instead, I have this mapped out. It's in a downtrend on the 4-hour. We have this little box pattern right here. So it's forming this a rectangle pattern, which is normally a continuation. So again, I'm not trading buys until it gets above 40 cents. Then I will trade buys. And until then, I'm not taking buys. But if this thing does break out of this box, definitely a nice sell opportunity to the downside upon the retest of the support level. So that's Stellar, that's BTC. Those are the two cryptos that I put out as analysis. I'll go ahead and pull up CRO. What's the symbol? Just this?
Just do Bitfinex, it's more data.
Bitfinex?
USDC, CRO USD.
This one?
Nah, that one's pretty, they just added it, so no.
Crypto.
But CRO USD, it'll come up.
Oh, they got Qcoin.
Yeah, Bittrex, that's good.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this thing's on a fucking mission right now.
Oh yeah.
God damn.
Wait, I
Look at
actually
the
marked it
trend.
up. I actually marked it up already.
Fuck.
Oh,
You want to
yeah,
pull it up?
good stuff. Yeah, let me add it.
There you go.
Oh wait, let me make sure I got the right screen up. All right, cool. Just let me share. Or is it gonna do this again?
You gotta hide the real crypto pics.
Yeah. Just enable the screen share when you get a sec, if it lets you.
Here.
All right. So yeah, we're gonna cover the differences a little bit here. So using the same strategy, but as we said, weighing more on support and resistance and psychological levels. So obviously this is a bullish chart. Okay, this is CRO from December 18th till now. It's been forming relatively good structure, right? This is obvious resistance here. We broke above it. Saw some reaction there. Gave us a new high and really confirmed this level, 10 cents. 20 cents was then the new ceiling. We just broke that in the last 3 weeks. And it's kind of just been pushing to a high. So there is real no way to, like, this wouldn't be accurate to measure with fibs. I wouldn't think, right? I wouldn't think that this needs to form structure. Obviously, this is just, the masses buying into CRO due to their ads, due to their exchange gaining popularity. I just think that still this is pretty undervalued if you're thinking of the project. So all that we can do is try to jump down timeframes if you're going to trade it like just how we do Forex on a week-to-week basis rather than just holding it. If you were to trade it that way, the best thing you could do is probably just try and ride the 4-hour breaks. Okay, so obviously we had a lot of ranging here, resistance at pretty much 40 cents, support at 32 cents. Okay, and when it popped above here, it gave us a nice little higher low. This would have been an entry opportunity with 50 cents as a target, followed by 60 cents. Okay, do you see how these psychological levels are really being respected, guys? How they're holding as kind of new support, new resistance levels, supply and demand zones. They just have a lot of power. Okay, so that's how really we approach crypto, really weigh on these levels. But I mean, this is obviously low market cap right now, even still at 40 cents, almost 50 cents. So this is going to have a lot more volatility opposed to a stable coin. If you look at like Ethereum or something, or even one of the ones that Angelo covered, there's just a little more structure on those because there's just more people trading it and it's just older. So this is going to be interesting to watch. Okay, definitely. If you want to learn more about CRO, definitely check out crypto.com, check out the project, what they're doing. And yeah, it's looking pretty promising. I mean, we got in pretty early. I got in back here. I started holding a good majority around mid 20 cents. I think Angelo, you got in a little bit sooner. But yeah, it looks to be pretty
Go
good.
over, pull up Binance coin.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's actually a good point.
let's see the path on this
Hell
thing.
is this? Oh no, it's BNB USD.
Yeah, type in BNB.
Straight to
Oh, yeah.
Binance. So if you compare CRO or well, what is CRO, right? It's an exchange-based coin. It was made by crypto.com. It's their currency. Now, all these other exchanges have their own. This is Binance's. Binance is obviously the largest crypto exchange on the planet as of right now. And their coin is valued at 657 currently. Let's look at the journey to get here. And
Yeah,
that looks profitable to me,
what's
if you ask
sad is
me.
at one point I held Binance coin at $2.
Really?
Yeah, because I
What a
was,
guy.
I was trading on Binance and they incentivized you to use the coin because it was lower
Right.
transaction fees.
Right, right. So, damn. The journey of crypto. So let's go back to a time that's kind of comparable to CRO, right? Obviously, we know it's appreciated a great
Yeah,
amount.
go back to like literally 2017.
I'm trying to find sub $1. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, so
Yeah.
almost off the bat, this thing was profitable.
Yeah, well, it was like the first,
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Binance
One of
was
the
like the
first.
first fucking exchange.
Oh my God, I'm gonna get carpal tunnel from all this scrolling. All right, so back here, we're gonna find where our CRO is. Okay, this was August 2017. So it's 5 years, let's call it. And what's the
Jesus Christ.
appreciation? Anyone want to run percent? Was it like, call it from a half a dollar to 650? It's a percent increase on that. That's massive.
When did this thing go super bullish, dude? I feel like I still have some Binance
So, I
coin.
mean, this is still super bullish from here, I would say. From
Dude, I
that
have. There's got to be a
six,
world where I still have Binance coin.
so it's 6 times its money in 1 month, guys. 600% a month. It's not bad. Not bad. All right, let's zoom out a little bit more. What'd you want to look at? You said, oh yeah, parabolic. Here we go.
Yeah, when did
This
it go
is,
nuts?
these are the big gains. So February 2021 went from 43 roughly straight to 700. So at more than 1,000% there. Almost, yeah. Like 1,500%. Something like that. Crazy stuff. So just, put things, even if CRO does a quarter of this, that's a lot. If you get in at 50 cents, shoots to 250. You guys can do the math on that. That's some pretty good gains. All right, so yeah, that's the newest exchange token, I would say, to look at. But yeah, guys, we're also developing a lot more crypto material if you guys are super interested. So just stick around, stay tuned in the channels for updates on that stuff. What are you thinking? You got something else to go over, Angelo? Oh, did we lose him? Hold on.
Dude, I got like I don't
Yeah,
even know what happened. He got fucking routed out.
he got booted.
He got booted.
All those CRO tips.
Yeah.
But
No, I'm checking. I'm trying to check my Binance right now, bro. I think I still have Binance coin.
really, that'd be a
Dude,
win.
dude, yeah. Even if I have one.
Right? Yeah, seriously, it's something.
Shit.
Definitely something.
Hold on. Let's actually see if I have it.
All right.
106. I'm about to sign in. They do like 100 verifications.
Yeah, right. You got to test it 6 different ways. But yeah, you got anything else to add on new coming crypto material?
No, I mean we're thinking about putting out a little program for the crypto guys. A little how to get involved with NFTs and stuff, but little ways away. It's just so interesting. I mean, obviously the end of the year is coming, so crypto is probably going to be pretty bullish. And then like what happens after that?
Yeah, it's
You know what I
just,
mean?
yeah, definitely got to keep people informed, because that's kind of the thing. Everyone's getting into it and not really sure how everything works. So, it's a good time too. It's still early. We'll bring some information to you guys in the community and
Damn, I have
see what
no
happens.
BNB.
No? Oh, well.
Let's see at one point. I probably had it at one point though, a lot of it. Fuck. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for the session. Hope you guys, have a good week. Follow the analysis. This guy said, I heard BTC is the true Bitcoin BVC is. No idea what that means. It's a true Bitcoin BVC. I don't know. We'll have to get back to you on that one. Yahi.
Anyway, what are you abbreviating? BVC?
I don't know what BVC means.
But yeah, guys, as Angelo said, analysis is out. Enjoy what's left of the weekend, guys. Happy. Yeah, no problem, Oscar. Happy to deliver you guys this analysis every week. So yeah, let's just go into the week with positive vibes. I'll see you guys in the community. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions.
Yep. Peace out, everybody.
Peace, guys.